Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is Chapter 8 of Pinpoint. This one's titled Under Attack. You stretched as the sunlight filtered through the blinds and threw a dazzling bright line across your bed. Yawning loudly, you kicked the covers off and rolled out. Grandma was cooking breakfast already and you could smell omelettes. Your mouth watered as your nose led you out of your room to the kitchen. That smells amazing, Grandma, you said as you pulled up a chair at the table. Oh, good morning, your grandma chirped, happily going about her cooking. Did you sleep well? Like a log, you replied dreamily. Suddenly you remembered something. Oh, Grandma, are some of the Kichona family coming today to work on that necklace for the princess of, whatchamacallit? Your grandma laughed. You mean Princess Shirayuki. Yes, they're coming to help set the cast for it. Awesome, you said. I'd like to watch if that's okay. Your grandma placed a plate down in front of you. It had a beautiful omelette on it, steaming enticingly. You're most welcome to watch. Now please eat up. She smiled at you and you dug in. Later that morning, 3 of the Kichona brothers arrived. They were kind men, and you felt comfortable around them. You greeted them as they entered the shop and showed them through to the workshop at the back. Your grandma took over and gave them the rundown on the details for the necklace, and you went back to the front of the shop to attend any customers, promising yourself that you'd go and have a look at their handiwork once they had started. It was a quiet morning, and the other shops were only just opening. You leaned on the countertop and watched leisurely out the window as nearby shops slowly came to life. Curtains were lifted, signs placed out the front, and doors were opened with welcome mats shaken out. You loved your quiet little town. Nothing dramatic ever happened here. It was always peaceful. You sighed contentedly and walked around to the glass casing near the front of the shop to rearrange some of the jewels when a shadow fell across you. You looked up at the front door as it was pushed open, a friendly smile on your face. That smile quickly disappeared when you saw the sight before you. A gang of 5 men wearing masks and holding knives, bats and hessian bags had just filed into your shop. The leader spoke in a low, threatening tone. Gems in the bag and no one gets hurt. You froze in place, your mind not comprehending that this was actually happening. Gems in the bag, now, the leader growled. You winced at his volume and cowered away from him, flying into action, your heart pounding in your chest. You grabbed a handful of smaller gems from the glass case along the back wall of the shop and, trembling uncontrollably, staggered towards the thug who had his hessian bag held out front. Hurry it up, he barked. You nearly collapsed. Your blood pressure was through the roof by now. What's going on out here? One of the Kichona brothers had come from the workshop door and had heard the loud voice. Oi! He yelled. Get out of here! The 2 of the thugs towards the back of the group started forward threateningly. No, you whispered weakly. No, please stop. You shrank back and covered your mouth with your hands. The Kichona brother that had come from the workshop quickly called for his other brothers and a fight broke out. You crawled along the wall, staying away from the brawling figures. Grandma, I need to get Grandma out of here. You had almost reached the workshop door when you heard 2 loud voices over the commotion. What's going on in here? You looked back, praying that it was someone who could help, and you immediately recognized the 2 that had just entered. It's those 2 shady guys from a few days ago, you thought. The guy with the red tattoo grabbed one of the thugs and roughly threw him out the door. Your pessimism changed to optimism as he and the taller guy started taking on the robbers that had entered your store. Suddenly, as if in unison, the masked members of the gang all pulled their knives out and started slashing at the Kichona brothers. You scrambled to get out the back, but a pair of strong arms grabbed you by the leg and dragged you away from the workshop door. You screamed in pain as a blade sliced swiftly through your thigh. You kicked and thrashed wildly to escape, squealing in fear. Suddenly your foot connected with something solid and you heard a grunt as your leg was released. You jumped up and limped out the back, searching for your grandma. She had hidden herself behind a large metal drum, and you grabbed her arm, intending to take her out the back door and make a run for it. She yelled when she saw the blood gushing down your leg and stopped you to have a look. Grandma, we need to go now, you hissed, not wanting to yell too loud. But your leg, dear, she replied, mortified by the sight. No, don't worry about it. Now we need to get going or they'll find us. You tugged on her arm firmly. Come on, Grandma, come on. You could hear yells and cries becoming more intense from inside the shop, and you looked over your shoulder in the direction of the noise, worried for the safety of the Kichona brothers who were still in there battling it out. Suddenly your blood ran cold as a member of the gang appeared in the workshop doorway. No, no! You pushed your grandma towards the back door and flung it open, helping her over the step. She was moving too slowly and you started to panic as the member made his way quickly towards you, knife raised. You screamed and jumped in front of your grandma, burying your face into her. She gave a sharp cry of pain and stumbled forwards. You opened your eyes and pulled your face away from her. The thug had disappeared. Your grandma whimpered pitifully, and you looked down to see that she had been sliced on the back of her leg as well. "Grandma!" you yelled. Immediately someone was beside you. "Here," the voice said. You looked up. It was the man with the red tattoo. "Are you okay?" he asked, holding out a large swab for you to place over your grandma's wound. No, I've been cut as well," you replied, your lips trembling, tears threatening to spill as overwhelming emotions rose, pushed by the spike of adrenaline. "Shh, it's okay," the man with the red tattoo cooed soothingly. "You sit your grandma down and hold that swab over her wound. Make sure to apply firm pressure," he instructed. "I'll grab another one for your wound." And with that he raced back inside the shop. You tended to your grandma, wiping a few stray tears from your eyes that spilled over despite your best efforts to keep them at bay. She assured you she was all right, but the shock of the situation was what had upset you the most. Red Tattoo Man came back. "Here." He knelt down and applied the swab to your thigh. "Do you need anything else?" he asked with concern. "No, I'm okay," you said, looking at the floor. Suddenly your eyes shot up and met his. "Wait, is everyone else okay?" You had only just noticed that everything in the shop had gone quiet. "Yeah, my friends are tending to him now," he said with a smile. "Only cuts and grazes out there, no one seriously injured." You relaxed after hearing that. "Thank you so much," she said softly. "It's no trouble," he replied, looking at you fondly. And there ends chapter 8. Stay tuned for chapter 9.